Yo, what's good everybody? Articulated Ninja here. I spoke to you guys before about sleeper figures. A sleeper figure is one that you didn't know you wanted, didn't know you needed, just had no idea about for the most part, didn't think it would be good or just didn't know about it in general. And I say no more than I say yes as far as companies hitting me up to take a look at their stuff or to give a spotlight to their stuff on my channel. But when 5K Toys hit me up about a dinosaur, yo, I love my animals, I love my dinosaurs, and I love my curvy women. You guys know this. You know this. So I couldn't say yes fast enough, and it's always no harm, no foul with me. My thing is, if I don't like it, I'll just send it back, and I just won't have it on the channel. So with that being said, guys, this thing surprised the shit out of me. This is my sleeper figure of the month, because I wasn't expecting this thing to be as good as it actually is. Yo, this is the Dinosaur Battlefield line by Axytoys. You could get them over on 5ktoys.com. I love being surprised by a good figure, one that I had no idea about for the most part. I seen that they previously released a dinosaur. I did not get that one, and I'm glad that I didn't, because supposedly this CARNOTAURUS leader, his articulation is a little bit better than their previous model, but all that does is let me know that they are steadily improving, which I love when lines do that too. But the detail on this thing is ridiculous. I feel like this thing has more detail than a Mythic Legions, and I love my Mythic Legions. But I tell you guys all the time, I'm not trying to sell you shit. I'm just showing you what I enjoy, what makes me happy, and this figure definitely made me happy. So happy that I went and I pre-ordered the green one.
Sir, where'd you get that? I'm gonna need that.
But guys, you can see the detail here for yourself. I mean, even the eyes have like a gloss over them. It's just the paint apps here are fucking ridiculous. Not only can you see the gloss in the eye, you can see the same gloss, the difference in the scar on his face. But then if we just take a look at his mouth open, you can see the paint apps inside the mouth, and the teeth are kind of like this translucent vanilla-ish color. They just look like real teeth. Like, it's not just more sculpted plastic, it's actually a different material, and this just looks crazy. Like, I feel like if this figure is like gonna set the bar for like mythical creatures and shit, this is a really high bar to set, because this is crazy. From detail, accessories, everything about this figure is just on point. So the armor, the clothes, and the accessories, it doesn't limit the articulation, but I wanted to take it off because when I look on YouTube, I don't see a lot of people strip this thing down to the bare bones and actually show you guys what it looks like, what you're getting for your dollar here. So I wanted to take all that shit off to show you guys what the range of motion is like on this guy. Like I said, even with that stuff on, it's not limited, barely limited at all. This is how this guy looks without any of it on. This is the range of motion that you're gonna get here. And he can look up a lot, and let's just bring him right back down. And because of his ab crunch, you can actually get him to look down. That ab crunch is crazy, but you can get him to look down pretty far, like he's actually looking at the ground. But that ab crunch on this thing is ridiculous. For it to be such a bigger buck, and for him to be just so bulky in general, he still has a lot of good range of movement. And I didn't have to heat this guy up at all except for his feet. So to get all the accessories off of him, I literally just pop it off at the waist, and you can take his hands off and everything should come off. I did heat up his feet to get that shin guard armor off of him, but everything else I just popped off. As you guys can see here, the waist, torso, ab crunch, all that stuff is really good, and this figure isn't loose, so it still feels firm when I'm moving it around. I do wish there was double hinge here, like the knees right here is single hinge knees and single hinge elbows. If that would have been double hinge, they would have been like, oh, hands down for articulation, this thing is winning. To me, that's the biggest negative. I still think it gets a pretty good range of motion without it, but I know with it, it would have even been 10 times better. And for the arms, we do get a full rotate all the way around. It kind of catches the sculpting a little bit here, but it can still be done. And then as far as a T pose, it can even go higher than a T. I guess instead of the T pose, we'll call this one the Y pose. Like why the f fuck would he even be posed like this in the first place? But hey, it's about options, and we definitely get those options here. So like I said, I could get this guy into all the big bulky bruiser poses I want, because he would definitely be the muscle on the team without a doubt. And last but not least, his tail is a bendy wire tail. I love when companies do that. It gives us so many more options. So it is bendy wire, and as you guys can see, it does move up and down because it's on like a tiny little peg. So up and down like that, and I could just pull it off real fast just to show you guys the size of that peg, and that's all it really looks like. The way this peg is shaped reminds me of some 90s toy, to be honest. Like, and he can also basically do the splits, so I think that's pretty dope. Like I said, for him to be so bulky and big, I think his range of motion is still really good. And I'm a big Mythic Legions fan. I like those figures, but the range of motion here is definitely better. But I get it, this is two different price points. Mythic Legions around 40, this is around 80, but it's still a bigger figure. The box is bigger, and it comes with way more accessories, so I feel like it balances itself out. And I just want to show you guys up close the articulation on the mouth. It is like a jaw hinge, and it does open and close pretty easily. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool, because a lot of companies don't give us that whole movable jaw option with a lot of their mythical creatures or characters. Guys, this is kind of crazy if we're not talking about the accessories that are actually on him, because I still count everything that's on him that's removable. That's an accessory to me. But if we're just going to count the stuff that did not come on the figure, we're still looking at 14 different items here. And then if we count the stuff that came on the figure, let alone that little baggie, if we count that stuff, we're talking about like over 25 different accessories, which is crazy. So I got this from the Axytoys website. I'm not about to show all of these items individually. That's not happening. There is way too many accessories here to do that. Right here, there's over 35 different accessories, and they're not even counting. In that number is not even his shoulder pads, that whole waist tunic that he has that's removable, his shin guards, and that stuff is removable. So to me, I count them as accessories. But let's not even be specific here. There's just a ton of accessories, literally over 15. And if you want to be specific and count the smaller shit, then we're talking about over 30 damn accessories. There's a lot here, and everything is like interchangeable. You can make yours look different than someone else's, or you can buy multiple and have, you know, grunts versus the leader. You can swap the armor pieces into different places. This is just wild. And the crazy thing about majority of these accessories is that they are compatible with Mythic Legions, or you can finesse it on there to make it look like they're compatible at least, because man, and as far as paint apps and everything is concerned, you can definitely get some kit bashing out of all these accessories with any line, not just Mythic Legions in specific. I'm sure you could finesse this stuff on into any figure, but look at how this looks on Mythic Legions. This looks like it came with that figure, and the blood, the paint apps on it, everything is really nice here. I really like this a lot. So even if we're not just going to talk about the figure being a good deal, these accessories alone by itself as a kit, to probably get 30 plus of these accessories, this would probably be over 20 bucks by itself. But the figure and the accessories to me are overall just really good, especially that I can use a lot of these accessories now with my other lines. And speaking of using it with other lines, this is the Dinosaur's shoulder pad. Like this is his shoulder pad, and I put it on the Mythic Legions as a skull mask, and I just kind of like wedged it on it, and it's actually staying. So I'm sure if you wanted to put it on there more permanently or attach some type of peg mechanism, and you can do that, but I can just kind of like wedge it on, and if I wedge it on in the right way, it literally just sticks on, and it looks pretty dope to me, man. Like as far as one of the skeleton lieutenants or whatever, that being one of the masks, look at that. And I'm shaking it, you guys can see it's not falling off. That's crazy. And these are the accessories to this dinosaur on other figures. So as far as size, here he is next to some Action Force figures, and I like his scale a lot. Then here he is next to some Mythic Legions figures. Then we also got him next to some Marvel figures and a Power Ranger. And then we have him next to some G.I. Joe Classified. And then we have him next to some Builder figures. And I love these Builder figures because I kit bash some, others I just left the same, but they're all animals. And I just love the idea of a human being able to transform or shift into an animal. Kind of like the old cartoon Street Sharks and Dinosaurs. But I really like that he's not bigger than this. I'm sure some people would think he should be bigger, but I like this size, and here's why. Let me explain. Guys, when I was younger, I loved Jurassic Park. I really wanted to grow up to be a paleontologist. So now you guys know on Earth 2 or 3, I'm known as Articulated Bones or some shit. Really, honestly, even in high school, I always had in the back of my mind that that was an option for me. But because of the type of dinosaur he is, I'm glad that he's not bigger than what he is here. So this guy that we have here today is a CARNOTAURUS. He is not as big as a T-Rex, which also shows he's like nowhere near a comparison to a Spinosaurus or let's say a herbivore like a Bronchiosaurus, and he's tiny compared to those guys. So with that being said, I'm glad that he's not too big here. Hopefully maybe we'll get those bigger bucks when it comes to like them doing some other characters like a T-Rex or a Bronchiosaurus, aka Littlefoot. You know what, guys, I was wondering and I kept asking myself, why do I like this dinosaur bucket naked? Why? It comes with so many dope accessories. Why do I just want to keep him bucket naked? And then it hit me. Bro, when I was younger, I had this Marvel Volt action figure that I fucking loved this shit. It was a Stegron figure. Comment down below if you guys know what I'm talking about or you remember it. I love that figure, and this is what this reminds me of. This is like a modern rendition of that Stegron figure, and that was a Stegosaurus. This isn't, but they still look so similar, and that's why I really don't care to put the armor back on this guy, is because I'm getting all the nostalgia feelings from that old Stegron figure that I used to have. But anyways, guys, my bad for the whole nostalgia trip right there. It just tripped me out. Like I always say, man, I'm not trying to sell you guys shit, but as you guys can see, I really like dinosaurs. So of course, when 5K Toys hit me up to look at this, it was no question for me. I was definitely going to take a look at it, and I wasn't disappointed at all. Liked it so much, I went and I placed a pre-order for the green one. Now this is up for pre-order, guys. It should be releasing soon, like really soon, if not any day now. The link for it is in the description below. But yo, 5K, thank you for reaching out to me and hitting me up about this figure, because I really like this. I like a lot of the stuff you guys post. Yeah, the Cesare figures, the dinosaurs, the Fury turtles. Yeah, that shit right up my alley. That's for me. A lot of the other stuff I can appreciate from afar, so you ain't gotta hit me up, you ain't gotta send it to me. I'm gonna say no to that stuff, but things like this I will say yes to. This is beautiful. I love this figure. It was a nice sleeper, nice pleasant surprise. I'm not the biggest fan of this CARNOTAURUS. I wish it would have been a T-Rex, but hopefully we get those later down the line. But this guy definitely grew on me. I definitely love him as my entry to this line. So thanks again, 5ktoys.com, link in the description. And like I always say, guys, life is short, man. Eventually we're gonna wind up extinct. Just ask the fucking dinosaurs. And everybody be safe out there, man. Peace. Toy photography and army buildings, all that I need is action figures. Toy photography and army buildings, all that I need, action figures. Don't buy me a thing, I told my girl that all that I need is action figures. Exclusives on my mind, so I won't stop until that figure's mine. And if you feel the same in life, subscribe and stick around for action figures. G.I. Joe, classified, Marvel Legends on my mind, Valorverse and NECA time, Mythic Legions I must find.